Okay, girl. Welcome to this episode of Girls Talk with Nicole. Today I'm going to do an episode with video as well. And normally when I drop a video on YouTube, like last few months or not even years, I always say like, yeah, I'm sorry, it's been a Mississippi minute because of X, Y, Z. But right now I feel like I'm just going to skip this apology and I'm just going to pretend like nothing happened, like it's normal. I'm just going to drop it there and let you enjoy it. So, today I am going to drop an episode about the advice that people would give to younger themselves. I ask on my Instagram and I also ask my friends and my family what advice they would give themselves, like them younger selves. And I collected some really nice wisdom and tips for life. And I feel like it's going to be very wholesome and wise episode. So just enjoy. I'm just going to literally read it out loud. And I'm going to, of course, share with you my own advice that I would give to my younger self. And then I'm going to explain to you how did I arrive to this life-changing conclusion. I'm going to share with you some tea because, girl, I have been through stuff yet again last few weeks. So yeah, this is the plan for today's episode. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Nicole and I am your host. And sometimes I make episodes about life. Sometimes I do like a little bit update of what's up with my life. Sometimes I also invite my friends. So it's just like a little bit of a girls talk, literally slash voice note from your bestie, aka myself. And yeah, this is how we roll. And of course, just like with every podcast, please subscribe, give me 5 stars, like buttons, and all that shebang. So without further ado, let me start. So I'm turning 33 in 2 days, 23rd of February. It's my 33rd birthday. And honestly, I feel like in your 30s, you gain the new level of wisdom. I don't know, maybe it happens with every decade, but obviously, right now, I feel the wisest I've ever been, duh. But like, what I'm trying to say is that the like consciousness and zero apps given about a lot of different, like a lot of things is like a whole new level comparing to what it's been years ago. And yeah, I really enjoy this process. Um, and that made me think of myself now versus myself 10 years ago when I was in my 20s. And then I was like, what advice would I give myself? And there is many, but one that's very important, and I really wish I could tell this young girl who was new in Amsterdam, is to listen to your gut feeling. I really feel like I truly, really wish I could tell this 20-something-year-old Nicole, listen, Nicole, don't let people tell you that you're crazy, that you're overthinking, that it's anxiety, that you're overreacting. If you feel something is wrong in your stomach, in your gut feeling, then something is wrong and you don't need evidence, just run. Just follow your gut feeling. So this is my advice. I'm going to elaborate on it in the second part of this episode after I'm going to read out your advice. But this is mine. I feel like there's a difference between anxiety and gut feeling, and I feel like a lot of people confuse it or they find it difficult to tell what's the difference, especially when they're influenced from outside and people tell them as well that they're overreacting and that's probably their anxiety, not the gut feeling. But I really feel like the gut feeling is that feeling, that deep feeling in your stomach, versus anxiety is like all over the place. Like you just feel all over the place and there's like lots of things happening also in your head. But that profound, deep, heavy feeling in your stomach, that's gut feeling, and that's your body telling you that something is off and you should listen to it. Okay? Now, let me read your advice. I'm going to start actually from my mom's advice. I asked my mom, and my mom said that you should start saving money as soon as possible. I also asked my friend Maria what would be her advice to her younger self, and she said that it would be to not procrastinate and also to just know that not everything has to be perfect. Very good one. Okay, let me just read the rest. Never lose your dreams. Do only what your heart and your soul tells you. Trust your gut feeling and enjoy life. Never stop dreaming or let anyone make you stop dreaming. Wear protection. Do therapy. Invest in the people you trust. Keep your boundaries confidently with no need to explain yourself. When someone doesn't take you seriously, it could be due to your age or gender, not to your knowledge or your skill. Just because people around you are mean doesn't mean you're not lovable. Try whatever it is you're scared to do or express. No growth without trying, period. Don't worry and don't hurry. If you want something but don't have it, life is interesting with a lot of surprises. Choose yourself. Don't make decisions based on other people's expectations. Keep doing you. Follow your dreams. Don't stress about what you don't stress about. I think what you should have. You want to feel. It's your story. Write it. Stay true to who you are. You deserve more than you think you do in terms of setting on work and or men. Cliche, but believe people when they show you who they really are. If it's meant for you, it will come to you. Don't stress, don't rush. Everything arrives in the right time. Okay, next one. Enjoy your life because it can end anytime. Fight for what you want. Do not accept a computer says no and know which rights you have. Being different than standards is gold. Keep going. If needed, ask for help. Don't settle, but also don't quit for little. Probably you are likely doing better than you believe. People are not against you, they are for themselves. You are normal just like everybody else. Your struggle is not special. Take responsibility for yourself so you can have the life of your dreams. You deserve it. Mental health is way more important than your job. Start investing, even if it's just 50 euros a month. Raise your voice. Go ahead and have that one night stand. Don't date and stay single. Less stress and more fun. Don't lie to yourself. Please start saving money. To research where's your pleasure. Crying is not a bad thing. Do not let people tell you otherwise. It's okay to be different. To start pursuing my hobbies and dreams, even if adults think they are not practical and financially sustainable. I would tell my younger self to take more risks and not make myself small for all those around me. Focus on your interests, ditch cool people and gravitate towards warmth. Not to worry too much. Let go of the need to control. Everything has a way of working out. Follow your passion and your gut. That I am so much stronger and I think and I have so much power inside me. Always let actions speak louder than words. Don't tell your plans publicly just to anyone. Work on yourself in silence. You don't know who has a bad energy. Don't be so insecure. You are beautiful and good as you are. Live a little. Enjoy life more. You're the only person that can make you happy. If people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Make your boundaries clear. Give your opinion, take up space, because it's so easy for people to mess with you. There is no rush. And the last ones. Trust yourself and love yourself. Try to not give a fuck about what people think about you and try to figure out what makes you truly happy and at peace. Do not lie to make others feel comfortable. Live your truth. Listen to your gut feeling and you don't need a reassurance of a bad behavior. Never care about what others say about me because they will always judge. You're perfect just as you are and never stop dancing. Damn girl, that's a lot of wisdom that I just threw at you within those 10 minutes. I hope that you can relate. And obviously, some of those things were repeating themselves, like the money, obviously, and also trusting your gut feeling and not caring what people think. And I 100% agree with that. But let me tell you about my tea, okay? So, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably already know, and I'm not going to go in details because, I'm an English teacher now and people might be listening. But I still want to share a little bit because I feel like it's something that maybe people can relate, and I live for relatability, and I just enjoy inspiring people to be more true to themselves and be kinder to themselves. And I feel like through sharing my story, maybe I can help you out to feel less bad and to inspire you to do what I just said. Be true to yourself and choose yourself and be kind to yourself. So, the gut feeling. I don't know if you have heard my episode about how did I become a side chick without knowing I was a side chick, but long story short, a few years ago in 2019, I was dating this guy, and we met organically through work, and we started dating, we dated for like 8 months, and it turned out that he had another girlfriend for a year that lived in different country. I'm just gonna say Germany. It's not Germany, but trying to change some details so you there's no privacy, whatever drama. Anyways, throughout that time when we were dating, there were moments when something was off, but every time he managed to gaslight me that I am the crazy one and that I'm overthinking. I was really young and not that experienced back then, so I let him lead me on for like those 8 months until I had black and white and evidence that he actually lied and cheated. And already back then, those 6 years ago, it's 2025, I promised myself that I will never ever ignore that feeling in my stomach that tells me something is off. And I even told myself that next time I'm dating a guy, when I get this feeling in my stomach, I'm going to tell him, listen, I know you're doing something. I don't know what yet. I don't have evidence, but I know something's up. So either way, you tell me now or you don't tell me and I'm just going to leave. Yeah, it's been years, and I must say I did not always listen to this feeling. I got better with it, especially last few years, but there were still moments after that experience when men managed to fool me and lie to me, unfortunately. Okay, fast forward to last year, I met a guy, and it was great. Like he seemed such a sweetheart. Everything was really beautiful and perfect. He was super sweet to me. And I also always communicate with men when I meet them that I'm not about fun anymore. I've had my crazy times, but right now I just really want to settle. And if somebody's looking for something else, we should go separate ways because obviously we're not on the same page and I don't want to waste their time and mine. So, when I met this guy, I was also very open about my intentions, and he also said that he is looking for, quote, a soulmate, and that he also wants to settle, blah, 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 blah. And he was really sweet to me, like he was cooking for me and coming up with cute dates, and he was very affectionate. We had really good banter together, so everything was great. But there were like some small things that I was like, ooh, I don't know. And the thing is that, sometimes if there's just like one situation happening, let's say somebody cancels on you or doesn't pick up the phone or whatever, things can happen. So if it's just one thing and they have really valid explanation of like, what is the reason that this happened, and then that doesn't happen again. And the math is mathing, obviously life is lifing, it can happen. But we were dating for like 2 months, maybe 3. And there were like those, more and more situations were happening where I was like, okay, this is strange. And I constantly was getting this like pinching feeling in my stomach. And at some point I was like, okay, this is really off. Like, thing that triggered me the most was one night I was calling him and I wanted to tell him something really important. So it was important for me to talk to him, for him to pick up the phone, and he wasn't picking up the whole night. And I really lost it. I spiraled down and I called him like 100 times. But from then, like we, made up, like, he told me that he left his phone somewhere, blah, 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 blah. And I gave him benefit of doubt. But from that moment, I had this heavy feeling in my stomach that something is off. And I could not ignore it anymore. And then I thought of that moment 6 years ago when I was dating this guy who cheated on me. And I remember that moment when I told myself I will never ignore this feeling, and I just could not let it go. So what I did is when I saw my almost boyfriend next time, I was like, okay, I'm just going to confront him and I'm going to tell him that I have this like heavy feeling that I have problems with trust, even though I told him already about it. And so I told him, like, listen, I know something is off and I need you to communicate. And he reacted so defensively, which brought me back to the times when I confronted my ex. And it was exactly the same reaction. And back then, I also remember I realized that if people, when confronted, react very defensively and they're trying to like deflect the truth and then victimize themselves and blame you for being like the bad guy, that's when you know they're lying. That's when you know they have something to hide. So yeah, like all in all, I didn't have any evidence that he did something, cheated, or lied to me. I didn't catch him red-handed, but I really couldn't ignore this gut feeling anymore, and we broke up. Actually, to be very truthful with you, he broke up with me when confronted. He just stormed out of my house, and I told him like, okay, if you want me to trust you, just let me see your phone. And I know it's toxic, and I am not a fan, and I don't support doing this, but I don't know. My intuition just told me to ask him to show me his phone, and I knew that his reaction is going to show me whether he has something to hide, yes or no. Because the truth is that if he had nothing to hide, even if it was crossing his boundaries, I think he would still show me his phone and then break up with me. He would still show me his phone to show me that he's innocent and that I'm the crazy one, rather than literally, excuse me, yelling at, or not yelling at me, but like telling me that, yeah, I'm not showing you my phone because now you're going to think that I have something to hide and that's it, and then storming out, Like the moment this happened, when all of this was happening, that confrontation night, my body really like was yelling at me, Nicole, look at this. This is your evidence, and you don't need any more closure than this. So, yeah, then we broke up, and I haven't seen him ever since. But I'm so happy that this time I cut it off so soon, that I didn't wait till 8 months later to find out something was off, to, I don't know, hear that he had another relationship going on, that he was sleeping with somebody else. Because after 8 months it's way harder, because you're like way more involved and you're way more invested. And I feel like also the more you ignore this feeling and you like progressing with this type of relationships, you kind of starting to lose yourself, and you at some point don't know anymore like what's right and what's wrong. Like you really just, yeah, don't know anymore who you are. And I also feel like it can even ruin your health. Like the way I was feeling, girl, like my stomach was hurting so much that I could not imagine going on like this for another week, because I was almost physically getting sick. So honestly, like my advice to you and to my younger self is to always listen to this gut feeling. And the thing is, sometimes you don't need evidence. Don't wait around to have like a black and white evidence. Sometimes just your gut feeling is enough to make some decisions or just to walk away. So yeah, that's my wisdom and my 33-year-old, again, truth to share. I feel like I also want to make an episode about like what I have learned in my 30s, because yesterday I had this conversation with my friend Maria that, like I told you, I think at the beginning of this episode, like when you become 30, you unlock some like new level of life wisdom and certain type of peace or something. And I really wonder if it happens like every decade, that you feel like, ooh, now I'm like the smartest I've ever been. Obviously you are, because you're gaining life experience. But even though, again, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that at that particular moment of my life, I have some struggles and there are some mental things that I struggle with. At the same time, ironically and finally, I really feel so at peace. And I don't know, I really feel like I'm unlocking some new level of life. And it's exciting. Sometimes it's scary and depressive, but today is a good day. And today I would describe it as intriguing and exciting. So yeah, I'm also excited to take you with me on my journey. That's why I have this podcast. And I'm just gonna let you go with this like short episode. Not every single episode has to be like an hour and a half. So enjoy the wisdom that I shared with you. If you have any other tips, for your younger self or for future self or for others, please share it in the comments. I think it's cute if we share some cute quotes or like some tips, life wisdom in the comments for others people to read. I'm also really happy to read it. And I'll speak to you next time, maybe on a video, maybe on an audio, or maybe in a week, in a month, who knows. I'll be there when I'll be there. Sending you lots of love. And see you next time.